Hey, welcome back to On the Peg with me, your eyebrow-raising, the bearded toyholic, also known as Mad Montreal Man, but you can just call me crazy. Or you can call me Joseph. It depends on how you feel. Well, we got a show for you today, only doing really 2 figures. Sorry, we came back to a normal episode. Now, we're going to be doing the Page Puncher Shazam. Or maybe, thanks to a fellow collector and toyholic named Mark, I got Captain Thunder. I'm not sure which one I'll open yet, but I have a pretty good idea which one it's going to be. Now, after we get that done, even though I got 3 action figures in my hands, they're all the same guy. They're all Christopher Reeves, 1978. This is the, I guess, what did they call this thing in? I don't know, the comic book version of Christopher Reeve. We've got, of course, the regular Christopher Reeve and the Platinum. I'm only going to open one for the show, and I think I know which one it's going to be. So what do you say I put good old Christopher Reeve down? And we'll get back. But thinking about Christopher Reeve, won't surprise me if Mr. McFarlane, Todd, looks at Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, and gives us a nuclear man. I would buy it. I would seriously buy the nuclear man from 1979 that one came out? I can't remember. I just think it'd be funny to have the nuclear man on the shelf next to the Christopher Reeve Superman. Just saying. But what do you say? Let me see. Do I go with the Big Red Cheese or do I go with Thunder? Well, we'll let Dr. Scalpel decide. How's that for a change? So I'm going to take out Dr. Scalpel. Haha! My friend, Dr. Scalpel. And let's do Captain Thunder. Why not? Plus the fact I don't have him on the shelf anywhere, and thanks to that fellow toyholic Mark, once again, thank you. I'm super happy I got this guy. Let's take him out of the package, and we'll be back after Captain Thunder's close-up. Well, the comic books are reprint anyway, but this is a better version of the Captain Marvel. Sorry, DC, it's still Captain Marvel to me because Shazam is his magic word after all. Even though apparently with the retcon they've done, it's how he says Shazam that he transforms. That's the intent to transform. Takes away a bit of it. Yeah, it's not a bad comic book. It's enjoyable. I don't mind the comic book. But I opened up Captain Thunder! As you saw in the close-up, you can put the medallion over the, the collar. I like the fact that it's a fabric wired cape. I mean, it's wired all the way up until here, except I do find the hands to be a bit large. But I like the face. I like the sculpt. It makes me think of, I know I sound old saying this, but the old black and white serial of Captain Marvel that came out way before I was born. Watching you, editor. But I have that serial because I bought it for my ex-wife because this was her favorite character. Actually, Captain Marvel, Shazam, was her favorite character. But I just like the design of this. Plus the fact I already have the previous Shazam on my shelf. I have the movie Shazam, which I bought the 2-pack. But he does come with spare hands, of course, fisting hands, which I'm not sure if I'm going to switch out, because in some ways having large hands as Captain Thunder kind of makes sense. Clap the hands, thunder! This one, by the way, before I get into it too much, no ankle problems. That actually works. I do recommend this one. Now, if you're wondering where Captain Thunder is going to go, hey, guess what? Front of the shelf! I like him that much. I'm going to put him on front of the shelf, probably with the Justice League International shelf I have going. But I do like him. I do recommend this guy. It's just, I don't know, somehow the fact that it's a different symbol, it's a comic book history, Captain Thunder, it's just kind of cool. Plus the fact it changes it up from just having, Captain Marvel, good old Red Bolt. And I do have, before you ask, I do have a Captain Marvel Shazam t-shirt. However, it's 20 years old and I'm a bit bigger than I used to be back then, so I didn't wear it. So just me in black tonight. But this is one I recommend. Pick them up if you can. Mark, the collector who sold this one to me, said that oddly enough he got this from Amazon because he ordered the regular one and got this one instead. So try that, because I know in the stores, at least here in Ottawa, I didn't see many stores. So try your luck. You might get them off Amazon if you can. If you're anywhere else in the world, pick them up. I do recommend it. Definitely recommend it. And by the way, side note, Shane, just a reminder, I got you Till You Go Strange. I managed to track it down for you. The reason why I mention that, because I think it's important that people start, realizing that there's some figures you can't get in certain parts of the country. For example, I'm going to have to beg someone somewhere to get me the Geoforce. Because so far I have pretty much all the collector series, maybe not all the variants, but I have all the collector series. And Geoforce is the collector series, and I haven't seen them. I actually made a list. I made a list of all the multiverse figures I've either missed and want. 30 figures. But that's life. Now on to the next figure. Now I already showed you that I have the comic book line Christopher Reeve. I've got the regular edition 1978 Christopher Reeve. But because I opened up a platinum already, and I like driving those mint and package people insane, especially when it comes to the variants, especially with this one, because I've already seen people online selling this guy for $100, $80 to $100 for a figure that you can still find in stores. So I'm going to open up with the help of the powerful Dr. Scalpel. Look, it's the platinum. It's the chase. I can hear all those mint and package people screaming now. And if you're wondering, was Christopher Reeves my favorite Superman? Well, I must admit, I did see the original Superman 1. Actually, I saw all the Christopher Reeves Supermans. That's why I made the joke about Nuclear Man. It would be kind of funny. First two were pretty good. The one with Richard Pryor, I was not impressed. Quest for Peace was cringy, but oddly enough, it's in a good way. It was cringy. But oh yeah, Flying Base, Todd, Flying Base. You should have done that with all the flying characters. But let's take Dark Superman out of the package, and we'll be back after Christopher Reeve's evil close-up. is the regular 1978 Superman, Christopher Reeves. I have to admit, bit disappointed they didn't put a little bit of blurb on the back about Christopher Reeves. Disappointed that. Now, for me, as a kid, I was watching reruns of the old Superman TV show before this movie came out. And before my editor put something saying I'm really old, it was just something that I was able to find on VHS and I watched. Not the greatest copies of the old black and white Superman TV show, but it was fun to watch. Christopher Reeve came out, and I'm like, oh, it must be related to the guy. Just same last name. But no, this is how you do an action figure. This is a platinum I definitely recommend picking up. Now, if you know me, let me just put this down for a second. You know fully well I've never been a big fan of movie action figures. I have some. Toyaholic. But for the most part, I'm not a big fan of them. But this, you get your money's worth. Apart from the horrible Scotch tape, which I really can't stand, you get a good section of accessories. You not only get you get 4 spare hands and a spare head. Of course, you get your typical flying hands. Scotch tape doesn't hold very well on those. You got 2 grabbing hands, which is really nice. Now, the figure has 2 punching hands already. You also get, I'm not sure what you would call these, sort of like semi-grabbing hands, and I just dropped one, so give me a second. It's this Scotch tape that doesn't hold them when you want to show both hands at once. They're kind of not grabby hands as much as the other ones, but they're close enough, so they're kind of like semi-open hands. And of course, it wouldn't be a 1978 Superman without the I'm pointing at you, and of course the crystal that goes into, it's a cool Superman. And it comes with a flying base, which is also a bonus. So let's take a look at them again, shall we? Now, one of the reasons why I really like this one, because when I watched that movie again, the scene, I'm going to take him off the base for a second here. The scene where he, as Clark Kent, is fighting his darkness is probably Christopher Reeve's greatest Superman acting moment. It is a brilliant scene in the movie. It is so well done. And before I forget, the head. Oh, look at that spare head. The red, glowing kryptonite eyes. Yeah. And I have to admit, Christopher Reeve does have the face of Clark Kent, of Superman. He does pull that off. The funny thing is, I realized watching many years later, they actually padded the suit to take away some of his musculature. He was actually pretty well buff at the time. But let's take a look at him. That is a very good likeness. I give them credit for that, because it does look like him. It really does. I like the S, but here's something I really think they got right. The darkness of the cape and the S in the back. Out of all the movie action figures I have, he's going front of the shelf of the movie action figures. It just looks good, especially the dark version. I do say, if you can get the platinum, the dark version, get him. He's going to be harder to get, but I'm so happy I got him, because wired cape, it wraps around him properly. All the hands are nice. You have such a serious look in that face. The glowing eye face as well. I can see this, swapping this out with another Superman whose head I didn't like. This would be looking cool. It's a bigger, buffer Superman. But yeah, that's it. That's great. This is how good this character is. Especially for a movie series that eventually kind of bombed. Because let's be honest, the Superman movies started going downhill. Quest for Peace, need I say more? I still want a Nuclear Man action figure from the movie, though, because I think it'd be great to have him. It'd just be fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it, except for one thing. It wouldn't be an On the Peg, especially if I didn't do this. A Batman figure. Now, this is not a multiverse figure. This is just something for fun, because I now think I have all of these. There was 3 series in all. It's a black and white mini statue. So let's do this right now. Dr. Scalpel to the rescue, because why not? Now, there's 6 in the series. I have them all, so I know what they look like. Let's see if I got the mystery one, the Chase. This is just something I picked up. Started picking these up over a year ago, just for the fun of it. And I managed by getting all of them. So let's see, who did I get? Oh, I got. Is he the Chase? No, he's not the Chase. Oh. No, I've got the Batman by Gary Fram. Just for fun. You gotta have some fun. Pick up a thing like this once in a while. So Shane, let me know if you want some of these, because there's a store near me that has them for a really good price. Not too bad. Unlike the full versions, which cost way too much money. So that's it for the show. I had a bit of fun doing this one today. Between... Ooh. Who would win? Captain Thunder? Dark Christopher Reeve? You decide in the comments. So as ever, please do me a solid. Hit like, if you don't mind. Hit subscribe. Please do. Share the videos. It's nice to know to get more people watching the show. Comment. Let a comic book store know, hey, you got this guy that does action figure reviews and he's got a DC wall. But as always, it's important to me, especially for mental health, for men's mental health mostly, because that's something we don't talk about much in this world. It's starting to get better, but you have to do your best, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. Do your best. Stay healthy. And, when you get a smile on your face from a good action figure, well, you don't need the storm clouds to go away to stay happy. And of course, when you realize that they got something right, you pick something up, you were doubting about it at first, but then you realize they got it right. It's a good way, of course, to stay positive, not negative, stay positive. And on that note, we will see you guys all here next week for another On the Peg with me, your host, the Bearded Toyholic. So until then, have a good weekend, have a great week, and we'll see you next Friday.